So the year is 1987, and the story with this song is the album was almost done, and she was in the car on the way to the studio and just came up with this song on the way to the studio in the car. Just came up with it. And it was released in 1988 on an album called Let It Loose. And this was one of, I think, four or five number one singles on the charts. Multi platinum album by Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. She is a cultural icon. She has an incredible voice. Their music has an undeniable groove. It absolutely blew the walls off of American top 40 popular music expectations and confines. Just exploded and those conventions and paved the way for so many great new artists and music that would be to follow. All credit to her for all of that. The lyrics, however, to this song, specifically the lyrics to the chorus, I would say are not her best. I'm not going to recite them here because I and you have to go on with your day. But if you put the lyrics to this chorus next to the Jackson Five's ABC, it seems like that was written by Leonard Cohen in comparison. So this is an interactive one. This, when I show you this, this is a metaphor for irritation at a cellular level, which is what I experience when I hear or even think of this song. It's happening right now because as an artist, especially as a writer, while it has an undeniable groove, the second gradeness of these lyrics and the incredible success it had just frustrates me artistically. So, one, two, three, irritation at a cellular level. Now you have yours. So when I show you this, I would love for you to think about what is that song for you. Statistically, it's some of you it's going to be We Built This City. Some of you it's going to be Baby Shark. What Does the Fox Say? Maybe it's Night Moves by Bob Seger. Think about what that song is for you. And when I put this up, if you could just hear that in your head and know nobody else can. And it's irritating the fuck out of you at a cellular level. So, with this metaphor, are you hearing it? Are you hearing your version? I experienced this at a cellular level irritation, and you don't know it every time all of these things happen. My meds are kicking in, my meds are wearing off. I become aware of pain or discomfort from bruises or sprains. One of the many bruises or sprains I have from falls from the last 3 months. I still feel pain in my right knee from the Target fall, which was over 2 months ago, I think. And from all the various falls and almost falls I've had in the last month, every time I go down or almost go down, I sprain my toes. One of my toes is always like, vroom, and I experience this. Are you hearing yours? That happens to me all the time. Also, when I go through physical actions, what used to be simple physical actions like getting in or out of a car, walking on the grass, um, walking on any surface, I have to scan. It's so exhausting. I have to scan at a micro level and make sure I'm not going to step on something that will surprise me, that the level won't change, that there isn't a tree root, that there isn't some sort of carpet. Like I have to mechanically go through the step of making sure I've raised my foot enough to get over stepping onto carpet. Because that simple, if I don't lift enough, just trusting that my brain is going to get the signal down to lift it enough doesn't work. It can equal a trip and a terrible fall and the whole thing with the shoulder. So I have to think about it, and it irritates me on are you hearing yours? Irritates me on that level every time. How long it takes me to do any physical action. I feel this. I'll stop there. So that's variable number one. When I show you this, I'd love you to hear your version of that. The next variable I wanted to offer is this one. Flames! Flames! Imagine your hands are on fire and you're standing there talking to someone. You know your hands are on fire and they can't see it. In my first year theater school improv acting class in theater school in first year was a whole year of improv, not like funny haha that you pay for, but like these step by step exercises, kind of building blocks of acting. And one of them was what's beyond. And it's like there's a thing that's happened before the scene and it's with you in the scene, but the other person doesn't know. And in this case, the metaphor is my hands are on fire, but you don't know. And what this is for me internally is fight or flight. My body is physiologically in fight or flight so often, and it's exhausting. It's not good for you to be in fight or flight, but you've experienced this yourself. Your safety is threatened. I'm going to let you fill this in, but you touch a hot pan and you go into fight or flight. Somebody runs by you on the sidewalk and bumps your shoulder as they pass by. I'll stop there, but you know this feeling, and your sympathetic nervous system floods you with adrenaline and cortisol. And from 10,000 years ago, it's giving you the superpowers you might need to evade danger. And your parasympathetic nervous system eventually comes in and calms that down. And what happens for me, at least once every day, but sometimes multiple times a day, is this gets fired. Fight or flight gets fired in my body from a fall or from an almost fall or from stepping on something unexpected, a toy, or like I've told you, a piece of cereal or a green bean. It sends this lightning bolt through my body, and the adrenaline and the cortisol are fired. It can be from surprise, from a surprise sound. Sitting in my house, some dumb truck goes by and guns its engine. That sound will cause a startle. Walking in the store, geez, one day something was going on at the back entrance because we kept hearing, "Goof! Will somebody please go to the rear entrance? Goof! Someone please go to the rear entrance." Every time that beep came on in the store, I startled and shook. And the trouble with the fight or flight is that it takes hours for it to dissipate in my body. And if it's a full-on fall, here's my what's beyond for this entire thing. If it's a full-on fall like it was at 5:30 last night, it's still going on. It's been 18 hours. It's still going on. It's making my spasticity so much worse. Picking up my feet enough to walk is really hard. I can still feel my body vibrating. If I lay down, I would feel like a really rapid shaking. It's still going on. This is the thing I experience, hands on fire and nobody else knows all the time. And the final variable, so you've got two so far. When you see this, think of your song that irritates you on a cellular level. When you see this, think of your own knowledge of fight or flight and what that does to you physiologically. And the last one is this. This is so personal. You all have your own thing you can easily substitute here. For me, the version of this that I experience most is a sense of loss and grief for the version of myself that used to be able to interact with the world and with humans like I did before. And all those things are changed now. The way I speak, the way I walk, the way I can be present with other people, the way I can listen, the way I can enjoy and take in art. It's all affected, and there's this is just present a lot. It just fires a lot. And I think all three of these things, I know all three of these things are part of the human condition. We all experience these things, and a special challenge for people with chronic health conditions is that it can be relentless and unpredictable. And for chronic health conditions like depression or alcoholism, as a for instance, those are conditions that can actually wrestle control of consciousness. So the person dealing with those things may not be fully aware of what's running the show. Is it them, or is it that chronic health condition? And that's its own special thing that can feel quite lonely. And this condition, in my experience of it, can feel quite lonely because there's so much happening that people can't see. And I think that's what I wanted to point at. It feels like the cure for this should be present. Just be with the person you're with. Be with the beautiful nature you're in. Be in the work of art you're consuming. But all these things make it really hard to be present because all this is going on. And, you know, I'd never get through a conversation if I told everybody all the shit that's firing in my body and in my heart every time I'm in a conversation. So I feel like there's use and power in naming this. And as I was thinking about these things, I realized these are all things people can relate to. We all know what these individual elements are, and people that are dealing with chronic illness know what it is to have the umbrella over this, which is the knowledge that you don't know when it's coming and you don't know if it will ever change. That is very challenging. So, with our variables in mind, I wanted to read through some quick scenarios of daily life and just share that these things are going on. Hey man, how's it going? Nobody really wants to answer this question. It takes at least 30 minutes. Only my therapist and my doctors really want the answer. They care, but they don't want the 30-minute answer. That is definitely loss. And 1, 2, 3. Hey man, do you need help to your car? I'm already in so much danger, and I remember how easy it used to be watching my kids roll around like puppies on the floor. So much. Um, Talking to people I haven't talked to in 30 years from high school or college, talking to an ex, talking to a neighbor about how the family's doing, walking into a car mechanic, walking into a hardware store. There's so much danger. Everybody's in a hurry. They're turning corners with their carts. Every conversation with disability, I'm in my ninth month of trying to file a disability claim. I think in my previous life, I could have trained for and climbed a very high mountain before disability came through. The process is so ridiculous, and it's like this music is playing throughout all of it. And as I try to describe what my work was and what the physical demands of my work was, oh my God. It does feel really good to out this stuff that you can't see, um, as being part of my everyday. And I think there is power in naming, um, these these things. I think it can deflate the demon and make being present more possible more of the time. And I just wanted to leave you with by telling you another thing I'm going to do in the present to help myself by quoting. Fortunately, they never recorded or published this, but this was a song that Gloria just thought of in the shower before she got into the car, where she thought of um, 1, 2, 3. And the chorus goes like this: my foot, it hurts, I've got to go. My toes, they hurt. My leg, it hurts, I've got to go. My hip, it hurts. My neck, it hurts, I've got to go. I'll tell you what I know. I've got to go, I'm gonna go and get a massage. See, I was trying to do a parody and make fun of that, but I still think the one I just made up is actually better. Yeah, kind of. Bye.